It's time for the finish line with Bree Fansteel and James Rowland. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Start your engine!
Happy Father's Day and welcome to the finish line at 93.7 The Ticket. I'm your host, Bree Fansteel, joined with Rebecca Pearson today. James is out on vacation at the races in Iowa. We also have Ben on the ones and twos, or the buttons as I like to call them, as well as Cole is with us today. He's going to be talking about 410 racing and the high limit shows. He was with Carson Macedo's crew. We do want to give a reminder to you guys that are joining. You can listen to us in your car and on our 93.7 The Ticket app, and also watch on YouTube, X, and Facebook Live. Also, the Allo channel 961. You can call in or text to 402-464-5685 and chat on YouTube. So please be a part of the show. We'll answer every question that we possibly can. We may even have James calling in today if he can. He's currently at that Iowa race, so we'll see what we can get. Our little weatherman pit reporter.
Yeah, the Iowa NASCAR race.
The Iowa NASCAR race.
Not even dirt track race.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do want to remind you of our show sponsors, Eagle Raceway and Stern Company.
Sure. And Stern Company is our title sponsor. We're grateful for their support. And they do fuels and lubricants for trucks and cars. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have Caitlin Stern, the name of the company, coming to talk to us. She is a chemical engineer. And it's going to talk to us about, fuels and lubricants from a chemical perspective, but also performance, which is what we care about on the Motorsports Show, is all about performance.
That's going to be really cool. I like that we've had, drivers on, we've had crew chiefs on, we've had Tomac, he was his tech guy on. So it's really cool to get all these different types of people and positions in the motorsports world on the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to use Cole to our advantage. We're going to talk about what happened at Eagle Raceway. Now, if you're not familiar, Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of entertainment and dirt track racing action every Saturday night. They also have specials going on. So we just had a 410 sprint car high limit special on Tuesday. We've got a Lucas Oil late model race coming up in July. That should be a bunch of fun. Eagle Raceway is just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. And if you have any questions or want more information, you can visit them at eagleraceway.com. So, Cole, do you want to help us out with Race Roundup just a little bit? Do you remember anything about that high limits race? Who are our top three?
I know Carson got fourth, Larson won. Who got second?
Brad.
Second. Third was
Mobile One.
James.
Yeah.
James McFadden. Yeah.
Perfect. So you mentioned Brad. We'll get back to Carson here. I believe James got us some pit reporting. We did get it posted earlier in the week. We got it same day. So if you're not checking us out on Facebook, make sure you do it. We are sneaking little finish line updates throughout the week there. Ben, go ahead. Let's play what we got from Brad Sweet.
Welcome back, race fans, into the finish line. Joined up with Brad Sweet, one of the promoters here at High Limit Racing, hanging out before the show at Eagle Raceway. Brad, second year back at Eagle. I know you've done a couple trips here in the Outlaw car. What's something special about Eagle Raceway to you?
I just think it's really cool, the high bank and, kind of like a big quarter mile, small 3/8. But Roger Hayden and his family do a really good job with the racetrack and have a good weekly following. And it's just a great market out here in between Omaha and Lincoln, and, a lot of great sprint car fans in this area. And just really neat to be able to bring a big 50,000 to win event here on a Tuesday night with such great cars and a lot of fans coming. So it'll be a pretty special night for sure.
Absolutely. Ran here twice, or I guess this will be your second trip here. Second year of the full-fledged High Limit Series. You've gone beyond the midweek money to like a 60-some race show. How do you think you guys are trending towards the future?
I think you got to let the fans decide for us. I think we're doing a good job internally running efficient shows, but, I think the shows have been great, but obviously we'll see how the fan attendance is, and they're the ones that make the decisions by deciding if they're going to buy tickets to watch the show or not. And so far it's been great. I think we're expecting another large crowd here tonight. So, we're just kind of one race at a time, one event at a time, but the staff's doing an amazing job. The racers are putting on great shows, and an honored to be a part of the High Limit Series.
Well, we're definitely honored to have you, and we're definitely going to do our best to absolutely pack this place for you tonight. Thank you very much, Brad Sweet.
Yep, thank you.
And we did pack those stands. So I got to take Henry with me and we went and cheered everyone on. It was crazy. Oh my
Was it
gosh.
hot?
It was
It was pretty
hot,
warm.
but
Yeah.
there were a bunch of, they had like snow cones like usual, which is nice because when I was younger, they didn't have all that. They had
And
ice
Henry
cream.
is 8, right?
Henry's
Just
8.
everybody
yes.
doesn't know who Henry
Oh.
is, especially if they're not a regular follower. So I just got to bring you back to earth.
Yes, Henry
who's
is 8 and he is a super fast go-kart and BMX racer and just the coolest dude ever. I get to take him with me on my little racing adventures. So we went and we watched the 410 sprints for the first time. Neither one of us had seen them, let alone high limits before. So it was definitely an experience for us both. And the stands were packed.
And the outfield, I mean, or wherever they park. What do you call the RV park? Everybody parks out there. It's just the parking area.
Parking,
and
yeah.
And the camping area also packed.
It took about 45 minutes to get out. Now that's
Yeah.
not a normal thing. That's
Yeah.
not normal for the track. It's usually pretty easy to get out, even with a trailer. But you got to think kind of like football parking.
Mhm.
It was insane. It was
Right.
kind of funny. There was some guys, I don't know who they were, but shout out to you guys. They got out of their trucks and started directing traffic in the parking lot.
Nice.
They had a
yeah.
beer in hand and then they were like waving with the other.
Were they doing a good job or not?
They were doing a fantastic
Okay,
job.
Yeah.
A fantastic job. So that was pretty nice. But Henry did great and we both had a lot of fun. And
What was your first take on the 410s? Since you're used to seeing the 305s.
I
every-
think
right?
so. My first experience with it was before the cars even got out on the track. Was we went and we got some shirts and little diecast sprint cars, and we were under the understanding that the drivers were no longer there to sign. We got there a little bit late, and Rico pops out, Rico Abreu,
Mhm.
and
Abreu.
Abreu. Sorry, I always do that. Henry did the same thing to me. He's like, "It's Abreu, Bree." So
Yeah,
Rico
perfect.
Abreu popped out and he started signing. We just gave him our shirt and we're like, oh, that's a driver. Oh my gosh. And that happened to be one of Henry's favorite
Yeah,
drivers.
he's amazing. Yeah.
Popular.
Yeah. He is
He's
popular.
so nice.
He is.
He
yeah.
is so nice. And Brad Sweet was also out.
Oh, cool.
We saw him too. We're like, what are you guys need to be getting ready. What are you doing? But Rico actually came out of his merchandise trailer and stood off to the side and took a picture with Henry because, as an 8-year-old, he doesn't really want to turn around and take a picture in front of everybody. And I don't blame him because I didn't either. So it was very nice that he did that. And so that was a great first taste for me because I'd never been to a show that was that big or that we call celebrities in the motorsports world. That's like your Hannah Montana experience, right? Your Justin Bieber is Rico Abreu. And so that was a great experience for us. And then we went back and Henry had something to talk about the whole time while we were waiting. And then they got out and it was loud. It was so much louder. And I don't know if that was because we weren't in the pits like we usually are and we were in the stands or what it was,
No,
but
they're just overall a lot louder.
is
They
that
turn way more RPMs than a 305. Like normal like 305s turn like 78, 100 RPM. 410s turn like 85, 86. So
that'll do it.
some
makes
turn
a
more
lot
than
more
that.
sense.
So yeah, that's why they're a bit louder.
Louder
makes a
and
lot more
faster. Was it
sense.
wild watching them
lot
go
faster.
around the track? Because
It-
you're used to seeing the speed.
It wasn't super wild. I think the wildest experience I've ever had was going to a Top Fuel race.
Oh, right.
And that was loud.
Mhm,
But it was definitely impressive because even like their hot laps,
mhm.
they were going and they didn't have any grip yet because
Right.
obviously the track was freshly made. So that was a pretty wild experience, but it was just fun. And it was one of those races where I didn't have to have someone to root for.
Mhm.
It was just who was making what moves and who had the kahunas. Shout out to
Yes.
Shaylee
Yes.
from a few shows back. Who
Yes.
had the kahunas to stick their car in there and see what would happen. So that was pretty amazing. I mean, there's definitely a reason those guys are outlaws. That was
So-
insane.
And the thing is, you said it was packed, more packed than
Yes.
usual, right? So who comes out for a high limit race versus the regular weekend race? Is it the casual fan? Is it the hardcore fan? Like, what do you know about that, Cole?
There's a lot of, I mean, when Kyle Larson comes, you're going to get a lot of NASCAR,
You're gonna get NASCAR fans
just to
just
see
to see
Kyle
him,
and get his
right.
autograph and stuff like that. But there are a lot of like with the World Outlaws, like Carson's very popular. Rico's very popular. Brad's very popular. So there's a lot of guys that just want to come watch them guys because they're the ones doing it for a living. They're the ones that are on Dirt Vision every night. They're the ones that are have the big sponsors and stuff like that. So they have a big following. And then it's just 410 sprint cars. We don't get to see them very often at Eagle.
Yeah.
I begged Roger and Racine forever to get 410 sprint cars, and they're like, "Oh, it's not profitable." I'm like, "If you build it, they will come." You know that saying? And then last year they didn't. They ran out of food. They ran out of everything. I'm just kind of like, "I told you so" moment. Like people want to see this. It can be profitable. You just got to give it another chance, because in 2017, I guess it didn't end well or something like that. But I was just like,
So
410 sprint cars are awesome. We got to get them back to the best track.
So what happened? So they used to run 410s at Eagle and then stopped because not enough people were coming. When you say it wasn't profitable,
the Outlaws used to come every year way back in the day, and then they kind of just kept like getting slowly away from it. And then Eagle started not really doing special events anymore. And I kept telling, like, every time I saw them, I'm like, we got to do special events. We got to get something going because people want to go. I'm like, if you build it, they will come. And then last year it was just a zoo. Last Tuesday was a zoo too. So I'm kind of like,
it was a good zoo.
Thing.
They didn't run out of walking tacos, and that's all that Henry and I cared about.
Well, and we're here to raise awareness so that people want to come out and do that too. So we're doing our part, right? The three of us doing our part to generate some interest. So.
Yeah. And I feel like part of the reason, and I can't speak for anyone on this, but something that I think of why we don't have as many specials as we do is if we flood with too many specials, then it's
not special anymore.
It's not special anymore. I definitely agree that 410s got to get more of those out there. I wasn't a huge all-wheel, open-wheel person, but that definitely made me a fan. Now we got the late models coming as well, so that's more of something that I love a lot of. I'm curious. So when we were there, you could smell the rubber because they're, like you said, they're turning more RPMs. Do you think that a track could hold up with 410s plus anyone else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's only 43 cars, I think, but I mean, Roger did a good job all night. Usually for the 410 races before, it was super heavy work. Didn't really slick off that much, but actually last Tuesday he had to go out there and rework it before the feature, which was good. I mean, it did take rubber at the end, but I mean, the 20 laps before that were amazing. So,
there were so many
it's not going to be perfect every time.
Yeah.
I'm not a track prep expert. Roger normally does a good job. It was just circumstantial kind of thing with the weather, how hot it was. It's a little windy. Sun was out all day beating on it. So it makes his job hard, but I think it'd just take more work beforehand. I mean, he's had a heavy track before, so now he's kind of got both ends of the spectrum. Maybe next year it'll be spot on.
Now, would you want to see, maybe we do kind of Knoxville style 305 support class with the 410s? Or you're thinking, no, I just want to work on Carson's car. I don't want to go to Joey's too.
No, it's not that. I just feel like the speed difference would be very dramatic, and people would kind of just, I don't know, I'd
lose interest a little bit. Go get their walking tacos or chicken strips or something.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, a support class is good, but I don't think it's really necessary when you have 43 410s.
That's true.
And I think if they made it a weekend show I know they don't want to take away from their weekly Saturday night show. I know they don't want to do that, but I promise if they did a Friday, Saturday show, they would get 60 410 sprint cars if it paid 50 grand to win again. But, like I've tried to tell them, like I never understood the special events will take away from your weekly racing program, because like if you bring those special events, broadcast to a larger audience, some person from Iowa turns in on Dirt Vision and says, oh my gosh, or Flow, and says, oh my gosh, that race was amazing. We are going next year. And they just start coming, and then they tell people around the area, you're gonna get bigger crowds eventually in the future. I'm not saying run special events every single weekend, but you want to bring the biggest names to your track so more people come and watch.
Yeah. And those names are then talking about your track on their social medias. Right. Those events or those sanctioning bodies like High Limits is talking about Eagle Raceway.
I mean, the best driver in the world says Eagle Raceway is one of his favorite tracks. I mean, that's marketing right there.
Right.
I did not say that. Thank you. But no, I'm kidding.
I distinctly remember you saying that.
Oh, thank you. For those of you who can't see, I'm flipping my hair right now.
Well, and they wouldn't come if it wasn't a good
Exactly.
track, and
Yeah.
especially for Roger and Racine supporting it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is track prep and how the track treats you, especially as a driver. You
Yeah.
guys know that too, right? So these guys know what they're doing. This
Yes.
is not some, brand new track.
Yeah.
And that, that should attract. So maybe we need to kind of brainstorm with Racine how we can help, because if the purse is large enough, you start to attract
And
that.
I think High Limit wants this to be a marquee event too. I mean, they put a lot of money into the purse. To
Mhm.
Phil Durst, I know him really well.
Mhm.
He put money into the purse to add on top. So
Well, did you chat with anybody after the race? Were they happy with the audience coming in?
yeah,
or
I mean, all the drive, like Carson and everybody were like,
Mhm.
there are so many people here for a Tuesday night. Like
right.
most High Limit weekday races, they don't get. I mean, they get good crowds, but
Mhm.
not like that.
Not
I mean,
right.
it just felt like it was a Saturday night on a Tuesday night. So props to Roger Racine for the
Yeah.
fireworks and all the stuff like that. A lot of extra stuff that Eagle Raceway puts in to make the event seem like a big deal is
Mhm.
really important. And yeah, Carson and every driver that I've talked to, I mean, I know most of the Outlaw drivers pretty well, and they all love Eagle. They want to come back. They want to come every year. So I think we could keep this going.
Yeah, we need to do that. Maybe we need to get Tony Stewart and Donnie Schatz.
Smoke,
Right? Yes.
come
Come on, Smoke. Let's come
here.
on out. That would be another marquee event, right?
He's
Get-
came before when I was
Yep.
12, or I don't know how old I
I
was.
know he's been
but
here before because I asked them.
It was
Yeah.
before I actually started working on sprint cars, and my dad and I came to watch, and the line to get tickets just because Tony Stewart was coming was
Yep.
literally to the main road.
Right.
So
Well, and now he's got loads of time on his hands since they're
Yeah.
not
I don't
doing
think he's
NASCAR
racing
anymore.
sprint cars anymore.
No, he's not, but
Yeah.
he would still come. He
Oh,
loves
yeah.
dirt track racing. And even though he's in Top
I
Fuel now,
think
he
he
loves
was-
dirt track.
I don't
He owns a
quote me
dirt
on
track.
this. I thought him or someone associated with him was in a mini sprint the other night.
Oh, could
I
have been.
saw on Leah Pruitt's Facebook story.
Okay.
She was like, "Go Smoke," and it was a or a midget or a mini sprint. I
Okay.
couldn't tell which was out on a track somewhere,
All right.
and they were in the stands. And I was like, "What are you doing?" I should have got more tea on that one.
Well, maybe we'll have to put our brains together with
Mhm.
Racine and Roger and with all our various connections, see if we can get another marquee event. That would be great, right? And
Yeah.
sponsored by 93.7 The Ticket and a few other of our friends, right?
Yes, of course.
How about that?
All right. Before we dive any deeper into this, James was awesome and he did send me some race roundups. So I would like to go through that real quick here if we have time.
I mean, yeah, we're stream only. We can go to break whenever you want to.
Oh, perfect.
Or
All
we
right.
don't even have to go to break.
Although there was some rain last night, which I
There
experienced
was.
pre-concert jitters, sort of. They delayed a concert. I was at Pinewood Bowl last
Rude.
night. Yeah, very rude. But but we managed to get out there, and REO Speedwagon has music anyway,
Oh,
like
yeah,
Riding the Storm Out and all that stuff. So it's very cool.
That's
But
perfect.
anyway, a couple of tracks got bummed.
Yeah, so Eagle Raceway was sadly one of those tracks. Although I will say what was cool for the kiddos is they did get to have their mini Eagle Raceway races in on Friday. So like I was talking to Henry and his little buddies that were coming over, it was really cool that the drivers they look up to were just on the
the
same
track.
track
Oh,
or
my,
the bigger
yes.
track. But I was like, hey, they
They
walked
walked on this
on
dirt.
this little. So if you don't know
Mhm.
anything about Mini E, it is a go-kart track on the infield of the main track of Eagle Raceway. And so the kids get to race there. They get to race there Fridays, and then they get to watch their favorite drivers race on Saturdays. So that's pretty cool. Our winners from that, we had Cage Adult Clone was Atlee Johnson, Cage Amateur Wally Duros, Cage Blue was Zoom Austin Sterling, Cage Junior 1 Aiden Brown, Cage Junior 2 Landon Rajewski, Cage Rookie Braxton Clapp Lovings, Adult Flat Clone Juliana Satriano, Flat Predator was Gary Ashcraft. So they did get their races in. Blue River isn't racing today because of Father's Day, so that's totally fine. But it's good that those kids finally got to go to Eagle. I know Mother Nature was really getting on them here these past few weeks. She also got, I believe, also rained out. So Eagle Raceway and then Junction, McCool Junction,
Mhm.
Shelby County Speedway, and Cam Raceway as well. Although we did have, so you're going to notice there's some familiar names in here that have won a couple weeks in a row, or maybe it's their first time. So do make sure you're checking out these drivers' Facebook pages if they have them. Give them a like, show them some support. A lot of us are doing this just out of our own pocket and just for fun. So all the support we can get really does help. US 30 Speedways winners in the late model was Bo Johnson, stock car Jeff Ware, sport mod Riley Osentowski, who also won last week at US 30 for his first sport mod win, I do believe. We had hobby stock was Brooke Fluckiger, and Crown Vic was Kason Grape. Then we had Boone County Raceway on Friday with sport mod Kyle Wilkinson. I believe that was his first sport mod win. I think he was in a hobby stock before, or a stock car. I can't quite recall which. And I know their whole family is pretty successful there. Then we had stock car Jeff Ware for the second night in a row. So that's kind of cool to pick up the hardware and collect on the weekend. We had Joe Beller in hobby stocks, Corey Dumpert in the late model, Scott Naggerts in the Stars Mod Light, and Dalton Young in the Crown Vic. And then we went over to Beatrice Speedway, which will be having, the US MTS race coming up. So we'll talk about that more later on. Modified winner was Jordan Grabowski, sport mod Lance Borgman, stock car Kyle Vanover, hobby stock Roy Armstrong. That's a name we haven't heard in a while.
Wow.
But he's pretty dominant, and he has for, I don't know what the stats are on that, but he's
A long time.
a
We'll look
long
him up at
When I
the
was
time.
growing
break.
up at
A
Eagle,
long
he
time.
always
Let's
did
look him
hobby
up at the
stuff.
break.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
yes.
Yeah.
He does a great job. And then Compact was won by Johnny Thomas. We also have some NASCAR and Knoxville things here that we will go through later on. But I would like us to take a break. Go ahead, take some time, listen to our show sponsors, and also get on Facebook pages. Try to find those winners, give them a like. You are listening to The Finish Line on 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to Oak Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Have a passion for the outdoors? Nebraska Game and Parks is seeking seasonal teammates. Work in scenic state parks, contribute to vital research projects, and care for our natural spaces. Seasonal staff assist with special events, provide customer service to outdoor enthusiasts, and make a difference for conservation. Join the adventure at outdoornebraska.gov. Apply online today.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP and J.
Everybody's going to focus on his intensities and antics. I think he would be just fine because Billy Donovan is doing well, right? And he's intense as all get out. But how do you think he would transition to the NBA as a coach? And then also, what does this tell you about the Lakers?
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I think the plan is to go bigger at corner. You got to have bigger corners in this league because you got these receivers. You got to deal with Ohio State receivers. And I'm not saying small corners can't get it done, but small corners have to be extraordinary, right? They got to jump higher. They got to do things that bigger corners might not necessarily have to do. So, I mean, losing Ethan Nation, it's kind of a blow, but when you got to get down in scholarships anyway, it's not, man. They got to have their best guys, man.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Back to the finish line with Bree Fansteel and James Rowland on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the finish line on 93.7 FM The Ticket, where we talk all things motorsports. Remember, you can listen in live on 93.7 FM, theticketfm.com, YouTube, X, and Facebook Live, or you can check us out next day on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you all for texting in. We will shoot you some responses here if we get some more going on. I do want to give another shout out to one of our show sponsors, Mike Boston with Eagle Chassis and Eagle Motorsports, who sponsors our segments here. Eagle builds chassis, and you may know Mike Boston as a veteran sprint car driver of the number 51 right here at Eagle Raceway. Mike is a master welder and is among the best in the industry. So if you need a chassis, reach out to Mike Boston on that handy dandy Facebook app that you have. Hopefully you were able to visit some of your favorite drivers or learn some more about those drivers that we announced earlier. Go ahead, check them out. Facebook is a great tool to use. So we do have Cole with us here. Rebecca's filling in for James. We've still got Ben on the buttons. Thank you, Ben.
He's the notorious MOB, right?
Yeah.
So we decided, yeah.
I'm not the mob, but the master of buttons.
I feel like you have to say it that. You're required to say you're not the mob.
I'm not the mob.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm not the mob. Just want to make that clear.
Now I think you need some music.
Oh, yeah.
Notorious MIB. And
oh, yeah. This is going to be a thing. We'll make it a thing.
Yeah, we need to find some.
We'll get you little glasses, edited over, little sunglasses.
I'm not going to wear glasses.
I'm thinking all this up.
You wanted me to wear sunglasses inside.
You wanted me to wear a prom dress.
That's different. You're the one that brought that up.
Okay. Anyways, so we have Cole with us. We're talking a little bit about high limit racing. I would like to dive more into that. Cole was on Carson Maceto's crew, and you were there on Tuesday at the high limit race. Can you give us a little rundown on what your day looked like and your role, what you do, and how you got ready for that race?
Yeah, so I've helped JJR, Jason Johnson Racing, for about 5 years now, I think. Just when they're not full time, just when they're in the area, just because, well, I've always been a fan of Jason when he was racing, and I always wanted to work for them. And at Knoxville one year, I just walked up and said, I want to help you guys. So I just went in the pits. Well, actually, I got turned away the first time. Like, no, we got enough help. We don't really just let random people just come in and help. Then I just kept asking, kind of just nodded my way in. Then I got to know Philip
You
Dietz. who-
weaseled your way in.
Yeah. I got to know Philip Dietz, who's now the owner of the 41 team. He's one of the best crew chiefs out there. He's won multiple Knoxville Nationals, won multiple outlaw races with many different drivers. He's somebody I look up to a lot. He's somebody I want to be like when I'm older. So yeah, I've helped him when David Gravel was running the car. That was the first year I helped, and then Carson took over after that, and I've gotten to know both of them really well. And yeah, I helped them for like Knoxville Nationals, bunch of races in the area. Huset's, I might go there this week, but the forecast does not look great. So I don't know about that.
I'm blaming Trevor for washing his truck. Every time he washes it, it rains. So if anybody has beef with the rain,
Yeah.
rainouts, I know who to blame. No, I'm kidding. He's listening right now.
But
Probably
yeah.
shaking his head.
Anyways, for like a race day, I'm kind of just an extra hand because they have 2 full-time crew guys, 1 car chief, 1 tire guy, and then Phil, who's the crew chief. So I've gotten to the point now where I know where every tool is. I know where every spare part is. Like this year, they have 2 new crew guys because the other 2 moved on. So I've kind of been like, I was kind of just like another hand for them because they're kind of still learning the ropes of JJR, how Phil does things. So just whatever they need, I can help with. I mean,
You're kind of like a hands-on trainer in a sense.
and then when JJR, Philip Dietz, he has 2 cars. So sometimes he'll run his second car, which is the 41 backwards 14. Cole Macedo drives that, Carson's brother. So last year we did 13 races. I went to North Carolina for the World Finals, did a bunch of other races. We did Eagle, high limit race last year. So pretty much whenever Phil texts me to come help, I come because he's the best and I want to learn from him.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Some people make fun of me, say I'm just a mud scraper, but I'll scrape mud for the best crew chief in the world any day.
Are they doing it? I mean,
You're sitting at home watching on Dirt Vision. I'm in the field of view of him doing what he does. So I'm very attentive with what he's doing. It's not like I'm asking for a setup sheet. Nobody's going to get that.
Yeah,
but,
What
it's
makes
just
Phil good? Like when you look at
what
him
makes
and say,
Phil good.
Yeah.
He is the best leader I've ever been around. He's always like this. He's not emotional. He never gets too high, never gets too low.
calm, cool, and collected.
Always calm. His cars are always fast. He makes some crazy changes in a night that I would never even think of doing with Joey. He's just so smart with everything he does. I've learned so much just with like what types of changes to make, what to look for, tire temps, which not a lot of people do, but he does. He's definitely somebody I look up to and somebody I want to be like, somebody I want to work for someday. We've gotten to know each other really well, his whole family. But yeah, he's a really good leader. His cars are always fast. They win races. So yeah.
What does so in addition to being a good leader, which I'm sure it takes to run the team and make sure things are running smoothly, he must have a method. Like usually those guys have their own style to doing things. I'm sure it's everything in its place and probably planning and but what's his style? What makes it work for him?
It's just like everybody on the team has a job. Car chief changes bars, changes shocks throughout a night. Tire guy just focuses on tires, make sure they're good to go. And then Phil's kind of just the sensei, I guess. He says, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Car's doing this. We're going to change this. And sometimes it's really chaotic. I mean, at Eldora, so cars have 4 torsion bars. Like with Joey, I rarely change 1 torsion bar a night. It's a big change. When we were at Eldora, Philip did 13 bar changes in one night. So
wow.
Did it work?
We got better every time, but like me as a crew chief thinking about all that, I get spun out in my own head. Like, but he's so smart that he knows exactly what he's changing, exactly what it's going to do. So, yeah, he's so good at what he does.
Now, do you think he has any programs he runs to know what those bar changes are doing? Because I've seen some before, but I didn't know if that's something
So
everybody's
he's actually
doing.
a mechanical engineer. He went to
Oh,
University of
okay.
Texas and I think UT, but yeah, he's a mechanical engineer. So he's super smart. He's so smart. I can't even explain it, but yeah, he's got like cheat sheets of what bar drops the ride height this much, what exactly which bar is in the car at what time.
All that data.
Everything is very specific. What rear end, what gear, what I mean, he just has thousands of pages of notes throughout the years. So that's what he bases his changes off of. And yeah.
Do you see him going through that book a lot, or do you see him making kind of a quick thought change?
I mean, like before the night, you'll see him up in his little like cubby area, just flipping through prior years, looking at what they've done. Then him and Carson will talk about it, think about what he thinks. But yeah, it's a lot of just, he has so much experience that he knows where to start most of the
Mhm.
time, and then they make changes from there. So
Well, that's smart to be around people that you want to be like, but also
Mhm.
people that know stuff, right?
Yeah.
To learn. So
Yeah.
Oh, I'd mud
the
scrape for them any day.
sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's, I mean, I feel like there's sometimes this, oh, it must be nice sort of thing we hear about all the time. Oh, it must be nice that you get to do this and this. And people don't realize when you were, I'm going to say nobody. That's where I see myself sometimes. It was, I'm a nobody here, but oh, I got to this. It's what did it take to get there? Or where did I have to start? What was I doing? So I think what you're doing is important, even if it is just mud scraping. And I don't think it is. I think
No.
you're selling yourself short.
it started off as that. I'm not gonna lie, just because they're not gonna trust a kid
Yeah.
who's there to do anything on the car. But I've gotten to know them so well
Mhm.
now that they trust me to do pretty much anything that they need in the moment. Like Saturday at Knoxville, we were scrambling. They blew the horn. We still had to do 2 bar changes in the front, and everybody's freaking out. And we're just like scrambling, Carson's getting in the car. Car's not even on the ground yet. And Phil's like, here, put this on, put this panel on, do this. And I'm just kind of like, oh God, I'm in the moment. I better not screw anything up. But
Yeah.
but yeah, he trusts me now, which is cool. Like just with last year working on his second car, that was like the first time I'd ever had my car. Like, this is my responsibility. If
Really?
anything falls off, it's my fault. So
Did anything fall off?
no, nothing fell off. But, it's like my stress level of helping Joey is here, but my stress level of helping them is up here because, I mean, they're all doing it for a
Mhm.
living. I don't want to screw anything up, but yeah,
Well, they obviously allowed you to do it for a reason.
Yeah.
So
And there are no glamour jobs, right? And elite athletes are elite athletes, no matter where they are, whether they're crewing or they're driving. It's the same thing, and it's not glamorous. The training is incredible. The endurance, stuff thrown at you, and you've got what 30 seconds or 3
Mhm.
minutes to change something, and the car's, and there's
Yeah.
money on the line. Like there's an immense amount of pressure.
So because I've got friends, I've got a crew guy right now who eventually wants to work up into a bigger team, obviously. And so we're working on development with that. What would your advice be to someone like that who's just getting started if they want to get into a
Yeah.
bigger role like you are?
I've had quite a few like kids come up and ask me like, how are you on this team? I'm just like, I was just persistent enough when
Mhm.
I was young. We were on a vacation at Lake of the Ozarks, and I knew the 41 team shop was right by Lake of the Ozarks. And I told my dad, let's go look at the shop.
You
Like
did your
I just
homework.
want to see the shop. So we walked in there. I got to meet Philip. That was the first time I've ever actually really talked to him. But I talked to him. I was how old was I? I was probably 15 or 16. But I walked out of that shop, and my dad will attest to this. I turned to him. I said, I'm going to work here someday. Just
Really?
because I was so starstruck by with how organized everything was. I mean, Joey, we have 2 cars. They have like 8 sitting there. So it was just like a starstruck moment. Like, I want to do this. I'm going to get there someday. So I was just persistent, just kind of got to know them a little bit more and a little bit more. Then I'm like, okay, I want to help. They're like, no, we don't really need you. And then I was kind of like snuck my way in the back door. And now I know, now it's like, I can call them whenever I want.
You
So,
didn't give up and
no.
you did the hard work.
And you can't, I'm not going to say, I don't know, how do I explain this, but you can't just go in saying you know everything. Like,
Yeah.
I went in, I will scrape mud, and that's the only thing I'll do. If that's all you want me to do, that's all I'll do.
Mhm.
I don't care. But you just got to be in the moment, learn, take advice, don't make the same mistake
Mhm.
twice. I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and these teams want people that are passionate about it. I've seen the inside of NASCAR, been Tony
Mhm.
Stewart's garage and many others many times. And speaking of starstruck, right? Yeah, you've got tons of cars, the best of the best equipment, everything else like that. But even NASCAR teams, which many people aspire to do that, or whether it's Carson Macedo's team or anybody's, there's plenty of people that want to do that. They need that passion, that commitment.
Mhm.
Again, I'm willing to do the mud scraping,
Yeah.
and learn from the bottom up,
Yeah.
which you clearly demonstrated.
And that was another thing about Jason's story. When he had originally drove the car, he unfortunately passed away in 2016 or 2017. But his story was he was working for Steve Kinzer, who Steve Kinzer is the best World of Outlaws driver of all time. So he started off helping him for free, sleeping on his couch, just learning from him. So I'm like, if he started out that way and he got to where he is now, why can't I do the same thing? So that's kind of why I kind of snuck my way in the back door, just to get to know them. I mean, once you get to know somebody,
Yeah.
you never know what'll happen from there. You just got to build relationships and network. I've met so many people. I know a bunch of the crew chiefs. I know a lot of the crew guys. I know most of the drivers. It's cool. Like I'll just walk up and say, "Oh, there's Spencer Basin. Hey, what's up, dude?" Like,
Hey, pal.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How's
Yeah.
it going?
Well,
How's
a
the
couple weeks
dog?
ago, we heard your story about with Joey and Empire and getting them going, right? You've got a drive about you that, you see, you want to make something happen. So I think you're a good testimonial to people coming
Yeah.
up the ranks who want to
and
say,
it's
hey,
cool with
they paid
them.
off.
Like I can go back to Joey and Kevin and be like, professional teams do things this way. Why can't we do it this way? So,
Do you think it's helped a lot with your team?
definitely a lot. I mean, just like the emotional side, like Philip's always like this, whether they're good or bad. If their car was bad, they'll come in and be like, what do we need to do to fix it? They're not like all pouting, like, oh, God, we suck. What do we got to do?
Like
Let's
they're
just load
looking
up
for
and go
the-
home.
oh
Like
my-
you can't do that. You just got to stay like this and just figure out the process of how to get better. So it's just a lot of the emotional part of it that I've taken away from helping them.
I would say that's not any different. I'm in business. I'm in business. We run the radio station. I also run the bakery. I would say leaders are the same way. The ones that can be calm, deal with adversity. Stuff comes at you as a leader or an owner of a business or whatever. You've got to be able to react to that. And then for same thing for us, we're looking for employees that really want to be there. There's not always do you have choices of employees, but many times you do. And you want people that are going to be there, people that are willing to do anything to help you out when you have, people don't show up for work or whatever it is. So lots of commonality to that, lots of common themes, but the excitement of the race world, there are a lot of people that want to be out there and around it and be fans. So, you've got a great story to tell for how that actually can pay out. I mean, same with you, Bree, right? Your story, right? You kind of investigated that when you were younger and you said, I'm going to do that and I want to do that.
Yep.
And look at you.
Still doing it, spending all the money.
Yeah. But
No.
you're doing it. You're in a
Yes.
car.
Yes.
You've got a team. You have sponsors.
Each year gets better and better, and it might not be the same as my neighbor. My neighbor to me in the pits might be doing extremely well, which they are. But I'm doing it. I'm going out there and I'm trying, and that's all I can ask of myself, and that's all I can ask of my team. So like when we get off, I will say sometimes, I need to sit in the car after a race if it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I need to sit there and just like breathe. Especially I've learned that especially as growing up, because when I was younger, we're all younger and it's like, why did that guy hit me? Why did this happen? Da 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 da. And then you kind of grow up and you mature, and it's like the helmet comes off. But before I get out of the car, all the emotions need to stay in the car, because I'm not going to get better for the next race. My team's not going to get better if I'm feeding them information that is emotional. So I do like hearing you say that, Cole, about being cool, calm, collected. I think that is very important. And at the end of the day, realizing why you're there. Why did we spend all this time that we spent all this time? Why did we spend the money that we spent doing what we're doing? Like I may not be the best there is out there. I'm definitely not. And I'm not going to say that, but I know that when I get out there, I have tried my hardest and I'm going to continue to try my hardest. And I know my team has tried their hardest.
And there's absolutely no productivity and emotion. It gets you absolutely nowhere.
It is such a big
It wastes time.
obstacle. And it's
Yep.
something I've had to learn growing up. It does. It wastes so much time. So yeah, it's nice to hear that. It's nice to hear that big teams are doing that as well. Because sometimes you're sitting there like, this would be kind of fun if we spice things up a little bit, We could
Well,
throw
I've-
a wrench here for fun. Ooh.
I sat in pits, in NASCAR. So talk about pressure, in the pit, you're in the pit box and you're right above when they come in to do the tire changes. And depending on what's going on, they've got 10 seconds to
Mhm.
make adjustments and put the tires on and send them back out. Formula One, same thing, and you're watching those crew chiefs. They are calm and they're looking at, they're looking at all of the gauges and trying to figure out what to do. And they're chatting and trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. So 2 years ago was the first World of Outlaw win I was a part of at Peevely I-55. It was like a last lap pass. It was insane.
Ooh.
Like I was freaking out. Like Carson rolled in the infield. I like run up to him. I smack his hand and say like, let's go. And then I watch on Dirt Vision afterwards and Phil just like walks up, give him, hey, good job. Good job. And I look like an idiot, but it's just, don't get too high. Don't get too low.
Yeah.
Well, when you win, you can celebrate. That's okay.
That's allowed. That's allowed. You'll reset
Yeah.
later.
We want to take a break, Bree, maybe, and come
let-
back and chat about some other stuff.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk a little bit more specifics about how the race went for you guys. Right here on 93.7 The Ticket. You are listening to The Finish Line.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Back to the finish line with Bree Fansteel and James Rowland on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the finish line on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Bree, joined with Rebecca, Cole, and Ben. And we do want to give another quick shout out to Eagle Raceway, Stern Company, and also Eagle Chassis. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. If you have any questions about them, you can always ask us. You can text in, or you can check them out on Facebook or their respective websites. We do want to finish up here with Cole talking about the 410 sprints. Before the break, we were talking a lot about mannerisms and what it takes to get to where he's at, how those teams kind of hold themselves. I want to talk about this 410 race from a pit crew's point of view, because we had a lot of Lincoln and Eagle and surrounding towns were at that race on Tuesday at Eagle Raceway, and we saw what we saw. So I'm going to go straight into the middle of the race here. A tire blew, it chunked out. If the fans who are there remember, it got some air. There was rubber way up above the stands. I think a tire blew. Do you know whose?
I think it was Rico.
Rico, do you know what happened?
There was some debris on the backstretch that I actually saw. Luckily, Carson didn't hit it, but yeah, Rico hit it, and he got a right rear tire flat, and then the yellow came out, and then Rico ran into the back of us, which knocked his nose wing down. But luckily, it didn't hurt our car at all. But yeah, that's what happened.
So what was that? What was the feeling in a race that was for 50,000 to win when there's a yellow and you guys were so far up?
Yeah,
I mean,
we
Rico
were really
was
good
leading,
all night.
right?
I mean, yeah, we qualified really good. We were quick time in our flight, and then we actually struggled in the heat a little bit. We had a really tough heat. Got 5th, but luckily that put us in the dash still. Started on the pole of the dash, waxed them in that, won that. And he had set a good pace early in the feature. Then he started getting the lap traffic, and then you could see Larson and Rico kind of going after it with each other, which kind of like spaced us out a little bit. And then the thing with Rico happened, got a flat tire. And then I saw Larson was right behind us on a restart, and Adam Zimmerman, the tire guy for JGR, was standing right next to me. And I said, there's going to be a bomb right here on the start, no matter what Carson does. So that's what Larson is known for. If he's right behind you on a restart and he's in second, you're in first, you're going to get a slide job thrown on you. And Carson knew that. Everybody everybody who knows racing knew that. And Larson threw a slider. Carson drove back by under.
So you guys were in first.
Yeah.
After Rico got out, you guys were then in first.
Yeah, we were leading. And then Larson was right behind us. He got a good restart. And then, yeah, Larson and Carson just got to racing.
Larson and Carson.
They just got to racing really hard. And Carson went to protect and slide himself in 1 and 2. So Larson couldn't slide him, but that kind of broke his momentum. And Larson ended up just zinging it around the top. And he was able to get by us, and then that kind of lost our momentum. And then Brad slid us, and then James slid us, and almost like we're in 5th. We were just leading like 2 minutes ago, but
that's racing.
It was just a circumstantial thing. Eagle's a very momentum-based track. If you don't get off the corner, the cars are just going to go straight away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Carson was pretty bummed after that. He wanted to win really bad, but it's just how it goes sometimes.
I mean, he led some laps though.
Yeah, but you want to lead the last.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
the
aware.
first 20 don't pay nothing.
Trust me, I know.
No, only in NASCAR you get points for leading laps. Yeah.
Did you said Carson was pretty bummed? Did he say anything else? I mean, he was the driver. Give us some insight.
Well, he got out. I don't know if I should say this, or it's probably fine. But he got out of the car, and he's just like, Larson always outraces me. Like Larson is very frustrating to race against because even a mistake doesn't even look like a mistake. Like Larson slid us, bounced off the wall, his front end's in the air, like about to flip, and still was able to slide us the next corner. Like nobody else in the world can do that. But
I was going to say, he's just frustrated because he's so good, right?
Like, there's a picture on my phone. You can't see it, but Larson is crawling the wall. Carson's driving under, but yet Kyle was still able to slide Carson the next corner and break our momentum. It's just,
You'll have to send us that picture and then we'll get a clip.
Yeah.
We'll
The
get a
race
clip
is online.
posted.
I watched it before I came in here since I was out of town, but it is frustrating. I'm assuming it's because he's that good, Cole, that he can do that kind of stuff.
Goodness gracious.
You know. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I did watch the race. It was exciting, right? There's a little back and forth, and obviously the tire flying in the air and resetting it, but
Yeah.
he's that good.
And actually on Saturday in Knoxville, Larson got brought to, it was just, the whole team was just, we're just doing maintenance, and Carson was just sitting there, and Carson was just like, I don't know how he's so good. I mean, he just can just
Yep.
feel it. He just, he's like, just watching him is so frustrating just because he can feel speed like
Yep.
nobody else can. He knows exactly where he has to be at all times. But
There's a natural talent to it. I mean, you know, and I was going to say, we were talking about Henry offline, right? But, you know, 90% of this is driver skill, right? Especially once the cars are kind of spec.
Well, and I
That's
feel
what
like
skill.
the laps help. I mean, Larson's been in a
strategy, yeah.
lot of different cars, so he
I mean, he was just going 240 miles an hour in an
Right.
Indy car a week ago, and now he's at
This is
Eagle in a
slow,
410
right?
sprint car going probably 110 maybe at the end of the straightaway. I mean, it's slow for him. Everybody
That's
else,
true.
that's the fastest they have ever gone. So
Right.
I feel like that benefits Larson in a lot of ways.
No, that's definitely a great point. I know you and I were at the turkey chase in the go-karts
Yep.
and just getting back in a go-kart for the first time versus the sport mod, which is nothing comparable to this. It was
I'd never
everything
raced
was slow
anything
for
before
me.
besides that, but I did all right, I guess.
You did great. You did a good job.
I didn't make anybody mad, so
Well, I
that's
think
my
that's
main.
one of those guys. The guys like different types of racing. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
Kyle's in NASCAR. Casey didn't. Tony was in NASCAR,
Yeah.
right? That sort of back and forth. That, you know, I'm sure that stuff helps them.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Just experience
Just
and
Racing all the
racing.
time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just racing all the time and knowing how cars respond. Yeah, but it's cool to watch those cool moves, right? You love to see that. You're like,
Yeah.
that's good racing, and that
Yeah,
was a
when-
good race, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get pretty emotional. I'm trying
Cool,
to be
calm,
better at
collected,
this.
Cole.
I'm cool, calm, and collected after the race is over, but during the race, I'm like, God, why'd you do that? Oh, slide him.
I think we're all kind of that way. I'm like, okay, we're gonna be chill, and then I'm watching a race and I'm rooting for someone. It's kind of like you just hit a black wall, and then the race is over, and you're like, uh-oh, what did I just say?
Yeah, especially with Joey, it's like as soon as the checkered flag is over, I'm like, okay, how can we be better? It's nothing emotional like that, but it's just during the race, I'm like, go win.
Gotta do it.
You got to have the adrenaline.
Yeah,
right?
for sure, for
Keeps you
sure.
going.
Well,
Okay.
what are your plans with Carson coming up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Houston this week for the High Bank Nationals, 100 grand to win, and then
100 grand to win.
on Thursday, and then 250 grand to win on Saturday.
Do you
Ooh.
get any of that?
No,
Oh.
no.
He gets the
So you're
privilege
not
of working
buying-
with the
Yeah.
team.
You're not buying the ticket, any rounds of drinks or
No.
anything? Okay.
Might get the
Nope.
pizza at the
I'm
end
not.
of
I'm not at
Yeah.
driver's level yet.
the privilege of working with the team.
Yeah,
in
that's
those
coming up.
environment. Yeah.
And then we talked about Knoxville. I'm going to Knoxville Nationals again.
Do you know the dates on those?
Knoxville Nationals is the first or second weekend in August because it's always like the week before school starts. It's like my last hurrah. So
Your last hurrah. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do
if you've never been
something
to
to
the
promote
Knoxville
it.
Nationals before, you got to go.
I actually haven't been.
Oh, maybe we need a road trip.
Yes, road
Okay.
trip. I'd
Road
be down.
trip.
It's
All
the
right.
best event in the world. It's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
All
I-
right.
I've heard that. So, all right. We'll have to figure that one out, Bree.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll have Mike Boston with Eagle Chassis on talking with us about sprint cars and also building sprint cars. He's been in the game for a very long time, so that should be pretty exciting. My name's Bree Fansdale, joined with Rebecca Pearson. We also had Cole with us today and Ben running the buttons.
And James will be
MOB.
back next week.
Yes.
Right?
So you're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. This is The Finish Line.